David Mazurek bought the farm. I mean, he actually bought a real farm in Edmore, Michigan back in 1988. And on this farm there was a shed, E-I-E-I-O. And the door on this shed was propped open with an oddly shaped rock. The rock, as you will learn, was probably one of the most overqualified doorstops in history. For 18 years, Central Michigan University geologist Mona Sirbescu had been asked by countless hopeful people to check out this cool meteorite I found. And for 18 years, her response was always a dream-crushing,
"Sorry, it's not a meteorite."
Now back to the farm. David Mazurek had puttered around his new property for a few years before deciding to move elsewhere, but he just couldn't leave behind that old shed doorstop. He brought it to his new home and for 30 years used it as a doorstop there as well. One day a thought occurred to him though. I wonder if our doorstop is actually a meteorite like the previous owner claimed. As David tells it, when buying the farm back in 1988, the previous owner had a yarn to spin about that old rock. As the story goes, back in the 1930s, he and his pappy saw it come down on their property one night, and according to him, had
made a heck of a noise when it hit.
So, the next morning, he and his dad found the crater and dug out the rock. And according to the original farm owner's memory, the rock was still warm when they pulled it out. Now, fast forward more than 80 years, David decided it couldn't hurt to have the 10-kilogram supposed space rock officially checked out by an actual scientist. So once geologist Mona Sirbescu got her eyes on it back at Central Michigan University, for the first time in 18 years, she knew she was finally seeing something very special. According to Mona, it was, quote, "the most valuable specimen I have ever held in my life, monetarily and scientifically," unquote. It wasn't just a space rock. It was a very unique meteorite. The 22-pound Edmore meteorite, as it has come to be known, is an iron-nickel meteorite with an unusually large nickel content. It's actually around 12% nickel. One reason David said he decided to have his weird doorstop evaluated, honestly, is because he noticed people were finding and making money off meteorites. So, couldn't hurt to ask. It didn't hurt at all to ask, actually, because another college, Michigan State University, bought it from David for a tidy sum of $75,000. Not bad for a weird-looking doorstop. David pledged 10% of the earnings back to Central Michigan University's Earth and Atmospheric Sciences Department, where Mona Sirbescu first identified David's overqualified doorstop. Be sure to subscribe to other Houston Museum of Natural Science podcasts. Just search for HMNS in your favorite podcast player to find shows like Tut Tut Now What?, Sharks, Tooth Be Told, and of course, Science Bites. Thank you so much for listening. I've been your mental curator, Johnny Hemberger, reminding you as always to stay safe and stay curious.